If Trey Smith was a part of the Chicago Bears plans, they're going to have to change some things up, as Ian Rappaport has reported that Trey Smith will be franchise tagged. We're going to talk about how that could affect the Bears in this offseason, some directions that the Bears still could go to fix the offensive line, and does this change the draft? All that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Listen, Trey Smith seems like he is going to be off the market per Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Kansas City is planning to franchise tag Trey Smith, a move that will pay the guard $23.4 million for the 2025 season. Rappaport added that the Chiefs hope to get a long-term deal done with Smith, and those discussions will continue. The deadline for placing the tag on Smith is March 4th, and the deadline for replacing it with an extension is July 15th. This kind of continues the conversation that we were having yesterday, right? That it seemed like Brett Veach, when he talked about the possibility of getting a deal done with Trey Smith, he was very optimistic on that. Also seemed like their top insider for the Kansas City Chiefs also believed that this was something that was going to get done in the terms of a 5-year deal. And so I think that, listen, if this was the Chicago Bears' big get, if this is the guy that they want to go after and they felt like was going to put them over the top, I think he was the number one free agent that was on the market right now, definitely the number one guard that's on the market right now. Yeah, it's a little bit of a blow. You're going to have to pivot kind of where you want to go, but there's still names out there that the Chicago Bears could go after. Now you're not going after the best of the best available, I guess, because the best available is no longer available. So where do you change kind of the direction that you're looking? Do you look at a Will Fries, who is going to be coming out, 26 years old, going to be coming out from the Indianapolis Colts, had a really good season last year. Run blocking was kind of a specialty for him. The pass blocking grade, something that you'd like to see a little bit better, but still was very solid in that. Only allowed 2 sacks. Didn't play a ton of snaps last season, though, which I think maybe is the concern for you on a Will Fries, but maybe you're able to get him at a little bit lower price. Or do you focus more on the draft now? Is this kind of where you say, well, we missed out on him. I guess we could go get a Kelvin Banks. I guess we could go out there and get a Will Campbell if we can get high enough to get him, or if he ends up falling to us. I guess we could go out there and focus on a Tyler Booker in the second round or later in the first. Maybe we move back and try to get him later on in the first because of the talent that we're going to need at that position. I think there's a lot of things that the Bears could do here that could open things up for them moving forward here at that guard position. But here's the big thing for me. Get the center right. The Trey Smith conversation for me was always an if. And yeah, you talk about it and you're excited about it and you're hopeful about it, but it always was an if. I said it at the very beginning of the conversation. Why the heck, after what you just saw in the Super Bowl, would you let Trey Smith walk out that door? Why would you let Trey Smith leave? Why would you allow him to and everybody kept saying, well, because there's going to be 1 million holes on this team if they don't go out there and if they go out there and spend money on a guard. Yeah. But they're also not going to create a hole at the one position that didn't allow Patrick Mahomes to be put on his butt all season long. So the Trey Smith conversation always was a if Trey Smith gets out conversation for me. The real conversation that I think you have to have is your focus needs to be Drew Dolman in this offseason. He's somebody who, listen, no matter how hard the Atlanta Falcons try, and I mean, they might have to like gut some people off of this team here. It's going to be extremely, extremely difficult to keep Drew Dolman on that team, and there probably is an exodus coming from him at that center position. If you get him signed in here, working with Caleb Williams, I think he's the number one center free agent on the market right now. Maybe you could throw Ryan Kelly up there just for the production value and stuff like that. But when you talk about the age, the production, you know, what he has the ability to do, how he fits into what Ben Johnson could do system wise, I think that you have to look at all of those things and say, listen, this is the guy that you have to get. The guy that's going to be touching the football as much as Caleb Williams is an extremely important piece in all of this. And now maybe, listen, we heard reported yesterday that there could be a real focus from the Chicago Bears on going out and getting Ronnie Stanley. Could that be somebody that they focus on? And here's why that would be even more intriguing. Now, again, the Braxton Jones conversation is a little bit different here, right? Braxton Jones, kind of one of those pieces who you feel like he can be stable there. I don't feel like he's great. I don't feel, heck, if we're being honest with you, I don't feel like he's a great option for you there. But am I going to sit here and say that he's a unserviceable option? I can't give you that. I can't tell you that he's not serviceable. That'd be me lying. There are plays where he's serviceable. He's not unplayable. I do still think he's a starting caliber player in this league, but I would like that to be a position that you end up upgrading. Scott Angle talked about, he predicts that the Bears will pursue Ronnie Stanley, who's a two-time Pro Bowler and a former Ravens left tackle. We'll see if that is former, as a vital free agent in the spring, and that because of the Bears having the salary cap, having the opportunity to go out there and be able to pay Stanley probably a little bit more than what another team could, he could be a good option for them. I'd be intrigued to see what that is, because here's the thing: if you get the center position right, if you get the left tackle position right, if you feel like Darnell Wright is the answer at the right tackle position, guards can be guards, right? And what I mean by that is I don't need you to be elite. Having an elite guard is great, and getting Trey Smith, go out and get the best of the best. Maybe you go out and get Will Fries, who's kind of that next level there. But like, I would rather have the elite guy. But I would also be okay with having okay guards if I've got a great center, a great left tackle, a great right tackle, because it offers that help to all of the to both sides of the ball at the guard position. I know a lot of people are going to ask this as well, and by the way, we'll talk about this more on the Windy City Breeze tonight. But does this reopen the conversation on Tevin Jenkins sticking around? We'll see. When it was brought up, and talked about for Ben Johnson saying, "Would you be okay with complete overturn on this offensive line?" He didn't hesitate. He didn't say, "Yeah, we're going to keep some of these guys around. We're going to make." No, he was like, "Yeah, I'd move on. We're fine. Yeah, we've seen teams do this before. Carolina Panthers did this. This is something that can happen." You know what I mean? So I think that I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is a pinned down conversation. Yes, that you're going to have to go out there and hold on to Tevin Jenkins now because of the fact that you've missed out on the Trey Smith market, but could I see it opening up? Possibly. Yeah. And then could I see the Bears going out and drafting somebody? Sure. For me, if I'm the GM, I wouldn't be in the market of holding on to Tevin Jenkins. I would say, thank you for playing the work version of our game. We're going to improve on this position in the draft. Whoever we draft will be starting day one. That's the kind of guys I'm looking for in the first and second round anyway. And I'm not even going to sit there and try and play around with this same this same consistent conversation of, we know when he's on the field, he can be great. Oh, he's gone. You know what I mean? So we'll see what ends up happening with that overall, but seems like the Bears are not going to be in on the Trey Smith conversation. Maybe it opens back up. Maybe things don't go through as the Kansas City Chiefs plan, but everything that is being said seems to be that he will remain a Kansas City Chief. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.